Okay, so I wanted to make you a gate vault tutorial. That's what that was called yesterday when I hopped up onto the baseball fence and then kind of flipped my legs over. So before you would ever do it over a higher wall or gate like that, first you practice them on lower things. So the way that it works essentially is that you find your pivot point, which is your waist, and from your waist down, you reach down to whatever your other pivot point is going to be, whether your hand reaches into your wall or the first bunch of times you can do it, it's actually going to be the ground. So your hand will plant on the ground. This hand would be an emergency brake. Let's go ahead and show you here. So I was going over. This hand's going to stay backwards like an emergency brake. I'm going to fold at the waist, reach down in a little diagonal, plant the hand, and from here, just like a lever, as my hand goes down, my legs are going to come up, and it's okay if they go a little bit out to the side or up. Just be ready to exit like a cartwheel, and I'll show you what I mean. So I pushed off into a 1-2. If you haven't seen a cartwheel before, let's see, whatever side arm goes down, that's the way your legs are going to go. Just so you know. All right, so I'll break down the cartwheel real quick just in case. So what you do is if you're going to bring your left hand down, you're going to step forward with your left foot. So you would go left foot, bend in half, place weight on the left hand, look between your hands. Your next hand is going to be your right. Lift your legs all the way over and set them down one at a time. So all that together would look like cartwheel. I'll show you again. So it's my onside, I'll show you my offside, but exact same principle. So you're continually moving down the line when you do it, a regular cartwheel. But the idea is you just get your feet down so your chest can come back up. So this is what it looks like on something low, a gate vault. And then on something a little higher, now in this case, I'm gonna have to jump up on top, lean over this edge, plant my hand in order to make the same thing happen. So this is starting to get a little bit more like a gate vault, but we're not high enough to where I'm gonna have to plant on this yet. If you can get your hand to the floor, that's always gonna be a more secure hand plant. All right, let me show you. Give me one more. So it's a combination of how long I'm hanging on with that emergency brake hand that can help control my descent, as well as keeping my core tight and using my leg muscles. Otherwise, if you weren't able to do that in a coordinated way yet, your legs might come out a little more sideways and flop over, and your first couple you might fall down or find that you're hanging on to this for too long, because once you get your feet down, it's time to let go of that emergency brake hand so you can stand up. All right, I'm gonna let my legs just barely go over this time, so you'll probably experience some things like this. Yep, get ready for lots of those. But you don't get hurt. Remember, the best way to fall down is just to sit down. But just like when we did that cartwheel, your hand that plants, you want to keep that firm and push away to help get your chest back up. All right, so you've looked at cartwheel, you've looked at low, like below your waist gate vault, which was the first one, and above your waist gate vault. Now we're going to go over to a bigger wall. Just have to move something first. Okay, so we're over at a slightly higher wall. I'm going to be coming up, there we go, from that side, which you won't see. But then I'm going to do the gate vault on the higher wall right there, which you will see. Okay. All right, so I'm up on top of the wall. before you can lean over it, you have to get your arms straight. When you're in a support position with your arms straight, now you can fold at the waist. You can plant your hand in the wall now and still bring your feet down. Whew. Now, it's way more force when you hit the ground versus the other one, but the principle is the same. Now, when it's you and it's your first time and you're putting your hand there, you're freaking out because you don't think it's gonna stay. So sometimes people go to start and they slide their hand this way or they remove it. Both of those are recipes for disaster. Once that hand's in there, that is your contact, your push point. It's keeping you from sliding down the wall. So push hard into the wall. Remember, you've got your emergency brake hand, and then flex your core and fling, sort of with control, your legs over or slightly to the side as you need, and be prepared to absorb your weight in your legs when you land. I'll show you one more, okay? All right, I'm on top, leaning over. I've got my emergency brake hand right here. I'm gonna push into the wall and then fold at the waist by bringing my feet over my head, or at least over my right shoulder. All right, I think you've got the gist of it. Be safe.